Well, morning, folks. Um, Another interesting day. Certainly, the weather patterns are not what you'd normally expect for August. Always a challenge to sort of forecast what on earth is going on. So, just overnight, if we have a look at the midnight chart, you can see this low here, which was circulating everything around, beginning to move away, and we're in a more sort of organised westerly flow. But all it's actually doing is organising itself to bring this next low pressure system in the next 24 to 36 hours across us. So you can see by midday tomorrow, that's tracking across, and then another one moving through overnight. And on Thursday, we're back into strong southwesterlies. So today, reasonably wide spacing on the isobars. So not terribly strong winds. The showers will, if we see any, move through at a steady pace, not whistle through, that's for sure. Because the wind, southwesterly, it's saying here 230, 15 knots. In the channel, 220, 20 knots. So breezy-ish at flying heights. But not terribly strong. SatPic is showing just one or two little white blobs here. There were some showers out in the channel running across the Isle of Wight about half an hour ago, and they seem to be dissipating. And we're still in this sort of westerly, southwesterly air mass that is unstable, but seems to be less showery at the moment than an hour ago. And you can see from the rainfall radar, this is just beginning to fizzle out. And the stuff that I thought was going to come and hit us for maybe half an hour this morning seems to have just disappeared. That's not to say we don't know what's going on down here, or it might pep up a little bit this morning with showers, but it certainly looks drier for the afternoon. Now, temperature-wise, as the day goes on, should be about the same as yesterday, getting up to about 22 degrees. Not feeling particularly warm at the launch point. I think it's sort of coat weather at the launch point, but that's a little below average probably for this time of year. Looking at the sounding, from first thing this morning, you can see a little bit of the lines close together here, lowish cloud, little inversion, and as things go on during the day, probably a little bit more unstable up through here, and the lines coming apart a little bit more, and then in the afternoon should be quite nice. So I think there's some reasonable local soaring to be had with cloud bases probably about 3,000 feet by mid-afternoon. So should be okay. Not necessarily a great cross-country day. Top Meteo, I seem to think overplaying the rain possibility there, showing lots and lots of showers in the morning, and then beginning to dry out a bit after lunch, showing better sort of soaring to the north of us with 1,000 to 1,200 meters, 3,000 to 3,500 foot cloud base. So I think it'll be, it'll get to that hopefully this afternoon here. And I think looking at all the other data, less chance of showers than Top Meteo are forecasting. Cloud amounts, I think you can take a bit off this. They're showing broken and scattered cumulus and isolated showers. So soarable, reasonable amount of cumulus, and should be good local soaring day in a fresh southwesterly, maybe cross-countryable to the north for the brave. And that's really what the suggested distance says, anywhere between here and Oxford. Certainly going north. I think definitely less chance of showers now to the south of us, and it should be a nice afternoon for gliding, certainly. So if we are flying, we are going to be operating on 2-3. It's already set up, and I'm sure they're getting the gliders out shortly. Airspace wise, nothing known locally around us, and the only thing to the north of Oxford is the parachuting, but that's not NOTAM today. That's on the 16th, the 19th to the 29th. So in theory, that's not operating today. Jet movements, I've seen a flight plan for possibly a jet movement today. I'll confirm that, and we'll know at the launch point probably in the next half an hour. Apart from that, we should be out there flying fairly shortly. It should be a very pleasant day. If you don't go flying today, well, I'll see you tomorrow.